Hey, it is Rogue here on Rogue's Retreat. I'm going to be taking you through a quick dynamic lighting tour. Quick is relative. Let's see how it pans out. Alright, let's jump right in. You are going to need a paid account, so make sure you have that on Roll20 to use dynamic lighting. It is free normally to use the Roll20 by itself, but once you want to start getting into like some of the cooler tools that it has available, you'll have to pay for it. That's fine. First, you want to have a map, and I'm using Google Chrome right now. Let me turn this music down. There we go. Excellent music by Kevin MacLeod. I don't know how to pronounce that name correctly. MacLeod? I hope so. Awesome dude. Having all that music available for everybody to use. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the pages here, and you can buy maps. You can make them yourself, like using Incarnate is what I use to make this map. And I sell them on my Patreon at Arcanum Syndicate if you want to check that out. Just had to throw that in there. If you purchase them, you can also download them online for free. I mean, they're everywhere, which is really cool. If you purchase them and they're specifically designed for VTT like Roll20, the dimensions will already be preset up for you, and you don't have to worry about that. When you upload the map, you go over to the art library here, clicking on upload, you can grab them to your files, upload them. They'll pop up down here under recent uploads, and you can hold Alt and then drag them over to the page, and it'll put it up in the correct dimensions for you. If it's not in the correct dimensions, that's fine too. You can alter those by going to the page setting here and opening that up. The page details will pop up. The size, the width, the height, usually around 30. 30 is good. If you get any bigger than that, then it starts to slow stuff down, especially if you have a lot of tokens and stuff like that. It starts to slow it down a little bit. Depending on what kind of computer you're using and how hardcore your computer is. So mine, it's ancient like me, so I usually try to keep the width and the height to around 30. You go down to the grid here, and that's the width and the height of the board, of the background, of the table. Once you go in here, you'll go to selection tool. You can grab the map. I right click on the map, and this allows you to place it in whatever layer you want. Of course, you want the map on the map layer. You can also grab it at the edge there and, kind of adjust it to whatever you see fit. If you just let the button go there while you're adjusting it, it'll kind of try to like lock into whatever hexes. If you have the hexes set up already, it'll kind of lock into that. You can hold Alt though. You can hold the Alt key and it'll set up wherever you let go. So that's pretty cool. And in the bottom left-hand corner, you can't really see it. My ugly mug is in the way, but there are the layers. You have the token layer, you have the GM layer, the light, and the map layer. Of course, those are self-explanatory. The tokens are going to be on the token layer. That's the layer that the players are going to see. The GM layer is kind of like an ether where only the GM sees it, and you can place like tokens that are on standby or traps or whatever type of artwork you want to kind of bring out really quickly. The light layer is where we're going to be doing the dynamic lighting setup. So let's go in and make sure, excuse me, the first thing we want to do is make sure that the page settings are correct. So I like using the hexes for the grid, but there are other options: squares, dimetric, isometric, depending on what game you're playing. The opacity level here is going to let you see the grid, let the players see the grid. So if you have it turned all the way to left, they won't be able to see it at all. If you turn it up a little bit like this, I'll show you what it looks like, then they'll be able to see it. I don't like it very much because you don't concentrate as much on the artwork behind it. So I try to turn that off. Or I try to turn it down. If you turn it off, it's not very good. The tokens will pop up, different sizes and stuff like that. If you have the grid already set up on, then the tokens will take up that space of the hex that is available, or the square, or whatever that's available when you drag them onto the map. So I'll turn that down. Movement, you want that on because that restricts player movement through walls and stuff like that. You don't want people jumping through walls. Alright, save that. It's all set up. That's not too hard. Close it. Now we're going to make sure that we are on the light layer. And make sure that you got this. Click on draw. And we're going to grab the pin line button. You can make it whatever color you want. I usually use red. Now we'll just start drawing. Left click starts the line. Left click finishes the line. And you just do that all where walls are. You can move this while you're doing that. It won't affect it. All where the walls are. Now, I've come to a place where I want to stop. You right click, it cuts it off. And then you left click and it starts it again. Boop, finished. Alright, I want to make the walls internally. Inside the compound. And I'm leaving spaces here for the doors and windows. Because there is a doors and windows option now. Which is really cool. They used to not have it. Because I would make the doors different colors. I'd use it like yellow and stuff for doors and stuff. So I could just go into the lighting layer and delete that yellow line to open the door whenever a player would open one or want to open one. Now players can open them themselves as long as you set this up right. You got a lighting button and you'll see place light, place doors, place windows. Placing the light, this is a really cool feature too. If you click on that, you'll see a torch icon pop up in place of your mouse. So you can place that wherever there's fire. Torch, wherever there's a fireplace, like you see here, candles. And then you can actually go in, hit the selection tool, double click. You can go in and mess with the features of the light if you want to. But they already have it set up to kind of a torch light radius. So that works perfect. It's faster. Let's go back in, finish the doors and the windows. Place a door here, door here, door here, here. And then finally, door here. Big double door. Now you can also place the window. I got one window right here. Boop. Alright. Now, click the selection tool. And you can drag these doors, these little handles here, to line up with the wall. You want to make sure it lines up because you don't want players being able to see through cracks and stuff like that. It looks like these doors are set to be open currently. Which is fine. I can adjust that. You just click on it and there's different settings for the doors as well. Like right here, you click on it. You could do a secret door where for the player it'll just make it look like a wall. And then if they make their checks, whatever, to find the door, you can make it available to them. Unclick that secret door, and then they'll be able to see that there's a door there. Really cool. If you have that opened there, then it'll be open. So I unclick that. You leave them all unclicked if you want the players to be able to open the doors. If you want it to be locked, just click the locked button. And then that means the player's got to make his pick locks check or whatever, have the key to open the door. Alright. Now go to the selection tool here. Now we want to mess with the token settings. You want each player to have their own token settings that match what their character is. Like if it's a human, you want them to have human eyes and be able to see in the dark like a human would. over in the handouts here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I got all these pre-made characters listed out. This is for the Demon Gate setting that's going to be in the Roll20 marketplace. It's going to unpack all this stuff for you, so you can just kind of drag and drop pre-made characters if you want. Like the Dark Orc Barbarian here. If you make a mistake like this, like I just pulled this token out into the light layer. And just right click on it, go to layer, put it on the token layer. There you go. Now let's go over the token layer. I make mistakes like that all the time. It's alright. You get used to it. Alright, now the Dark Orc is going to be able to see really well in the dark. You know, dark vision and all that. Double click on the token, go to the dynamic lighting section, and you'll be able to turn the token vision on, and you'll be able to adjust the vision here, night vision, and you'll be able to adjust the distance that the Dark Orc sees. Let's go check and see, actually. Right click, open character, see what this character's vision is under the attributes tab. This is for the Demon Gate sheet, so if you're using D&D or whatever, this is how I like to set it up for Demon Gate anyway. The character has a perception of 15, and since he's a Dark Orc, each hex represents 5 feet, so since he's a Dark Orc, I'm going to take 15 times 5. I need my calculator since I'm bad at math, so 75 feet, right? 75 feet, go into the settings, and I would set this Dark Orc's vision up to 75 feet of night vision. And then I would go to dimming. 0.1 is when it starts to dim. It makes it start, being dark around the orc at that distance. All right, for the human, I'm going to right click. I'm going to check out the human's vision. I set this up a little bit different because he does not have the dark vision, right? He's got his human eyes. So the human has 13 total perception. So I'm going to double click, go into the dynamic lightings. I'm only going to give him 13 feet of night vision. Same thing, dimming starts at 0.1. Save those settings. Now let's check out what they see and the distance that they see. One thing very important that you do want to remember is, let me see here, hold shift, double click, and then you go to edit. It says here in players journals, all players is fine. That means in the journal here, in the handouts, everybody can see that character. However, the more important thing is, can be edited and controlled by. You want this to be set up primarily only towards the player. Only towards the player that's going to be using this token. Because you don't want them to be able to see what every other character sees. So, this one's set up to rogue, right? And let's check out how he sees. You click on the token, hit Control L for look, and that is what he sees in the dark. Now you can tell he doesn't see very well. Very bad. Let's check out what the Dark Orc sees using his dark vision. And this is going to be cool because, maybe the Dark Orc can let the human know that there's something in the darkness over there. I mean, the human can't see very far. You can see the Dark Orc can see much farther than him. Alright? And if you go over, the player can open up the door just by clicking on it. Boop. They can go on in and check out what it looks like inside the compound when you hit Control L. The door's open right there. The window's open. You can see inside the room. You can see that firelight. You can see the edge of the light there that the fire creates. And you can see inside here, and like the walls will keep you from seeing things, which is really good for when you're using like line of sight type things, like a bow and arrow or a spell or anything like that. Um, Very cool tool, as you can tell. Many options available for you, and I love it. Dynamic lighting. I hope this helps you. Have a good one.